Okay, so Marian, very nice to see you again. We did it. We have one more time. It's more summer here. You see, I wear my summer clothing now.
At
Yes,
last,
everything very
it was
nice.
time.
Was about time,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
Was about time. Very happy to be in the summer. So I chose today the topic people skills because I find it's a very I face this challenge on my work on a constant base. I see the lack on people skills, especially in positions in companies that are very much um, have to do a lot with communication and with people. So if you are the software developer, the guy that is maybe you don't need to be so much like people guy, but if you are the managing director of a company, you are the HR department, you have to do with people, then it's certainly a very basic skill to have people skills. To have with people skills, I want to say to understand who are the other people that you are talking with and if they are a good fit for the job, regardless of if typically they are. Maybe they have the typical criteria to be and not the substantial, not the substance to be the right players. And you will be in the position to evaluate that if you have people skills.
Okay, so we're talking about, you know, we're talking about recruiting people who have those skills, right? Finding the right people that have these communication skills, that have these good, yeah, I'd say communication skills mostly when it's people skills, right?
Um, yes and no. So communication skills, human skills, and soft skills are included in people skills because people skills don't necessarily have to do with the communication
Okay.
of the message. They also have to do with the communication. But I go one level higher than that. I go on the level of understanding the other people around you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, their motivations, their fears, where they come from. And that is crucial. That is crucial in order to have the right team next to you. For me, hiring salespeople, for example, that is something that needs very good people skills.
Mm.
Very good people skills. Because what I experienced in my career is you find, for example, some senior software consultant, and then you find somebody, a call center guy, let's say. Don't be surprised that you will see that sometimes the call center guy that was selling, I don't know, cryptocurrency before or insurance, or he was making do or die calls, maybe he will bring more results to your business than the sophisticated guy that is going to start talking about AB email marketing campaigns and have sophisticated skills. Now, I don't want to super simplify things and say, okay, let's go for that, he's better. I don't want to say that. But what I want to say is that it takes more than just the reading the CV. You need to understand the person that you have in front of you.
I think hiring talent is one of the hardest things to do, but it's also one of the most important things you can do for your business. And finding the right people is really hard. And some people, I mean, I've seen often that people tend to go, well, first, a few things. Often people hire in a rush because they need to replace somebody, and they'll take the first person who's good enough.
Yes.
So that's often something that happens. They don't take the time to find the right person that fits the job, the culture of the company, or the actual skills needed, as you say, the people skills needed to practice the job. But but it's also the skills of the person hiring, right? So that means the person hiring has to have these skills to be able to identify them in the other people, and
Yes.
that's not always the case, unfortunately. So yeah, hiring people, hiring the right people into your business is really hard, but it is something that can make or break your business, and it can have a huge impact on how successful your business will or will not be.
What is the key now of being the person? How you acquire people skills, and how can you uh, nurture these people skills that you have and enhance them? What are the qualities that are needed for you to have or to hire somebody that has good people skills? What do you think?
You have to learn from somebody else. You have to be a good listener. You have to be self-aware. You have to be willing to receive feedback to be able to improve. All these things are going to help you, because I mean, I think you can learn any skill. I think anybody can learn any skill, but you have to be willing to put in the work, the practice often, and getting the feedback and the support from somebody who does it well. I mean, find somebody who does it well and learn from them.
Okay, so everything that you said is correct. Let me add some things here, some basic stuff. So I would say that having the experience of a variety of different scenarios that you have been through. For example, you worked at this job,
Yeah.
but also you've been, I don't know, in the Navy, and
Yes, the practice. It's the experience.
Yes, but the experience, the experience in a variety of different fields, the experience to be having to do with people from different walks of life, and understand their perception,
definitely,
of how they see things. So if you work like as a construction worker, that is a different experience as if you are like the librarian in I don't know, in a public library. You have to
you don't need the same skills either for those two jobs. So
you don't need the same skills, but you deal also with different people.
Yeah.
And you need to understand all nuances of the colors of the different people that are outside there. Yeah. Another big advantage, I would say, is to have worked in a variety of different jobs and works in terms of the position, your positioning in the hierarchy of power, let's say. So you will see that if you are the firing manager on a store, how people treat you, how little things that you say influence people, how your words have weight on what you say, and vice versa.
Or I think having been in the shoes of the person that you're recruiting or hiring is definitely an advantage, because you've been there, done that. You know what's needed. You know the skills. You know the challenges of the job. And it's an incredible learning experience to grow up in a company or in a business or anything, doing all these different roles in these different positions, because you experience them, as you say, from different perspectives, and suddenly you understand things you didn't understand before.
Yes, but if you are in the same organization, again, you have the same culture.
No, I'm saying organization or organizations. I think that the fact of, when I'm talking about, you're talking about being the hiring manager into a role. If you've been in the person's shoes who you're recruiting, you have a better chance of understanding what is needed.
For me, what is always surprising, still it is surprising, is to see how people are before you hire them and after you hire them. Is many times it is as if you speak to two different persons.
It's hard to be fair, I think it's really hard to make an opinion about somebody or to make an impression on somebody also in one interview. You know, when people come to an interview, well, what do? You try to show your best self. You try and, hide what you think is not good. You try to stand up to whatever standard you think the other person is expecting. And that's you rarely show up as your genuine self, because because there's this pressure. And so I think that, thinking that you can have a 20-minute conversation with somebody and feeling, oh, that's the right person from the job, that's hard. So I think there's also a part, there's also work that needs to be done on the hiring side of maybe spending a bit more time with the person, maybe in a different environment than just behind the desk, asking them questions. If you really want to get to know somebody, that's how, that's not how you do it.
Yes, but as you mentioned before, that's an ideal scenario, what you are describing. So, for example, being in a rush to replace somebody, I often being in a position that I have to choose the best between out of 5 bad people.
Yeah.
I mean, but I had to choose somebody because I needed to have somebody. So I chose somebody knowingly that it's not the best choice that I could have made, but was the best choice under the conditions. But if you had the luck, which I consider to have the luck, I served in the Greek army. So the Greek army is an obligatory army, so everybody goes there. So you have to imagine that as a company. It's like you have a company where you have staff inside that nobody wants to work in this company, and they are forced to be there because that's exactly what it is. So now imagine you are an officer in this army. You have to deal with all these people that no one wants to be there.
Yeah. And
you have the power, they cannot go away. So you are in an environment that is, it's an unnatural environment that brings also unnatural behaviors. So what I experienced there was that we had there was a guy in the office that I was in an office, luckily. So this guy always found a lot of pleasure when people were, how you call it, when they were saying good things about him, So everybody found.
Who wouldn't?
Yes, who wouldn't?
I do.
But I mean, it went sometimes to, you can have also a conversation with somebody without, you can have a little critique or say that I believe you didn't do that correct. So, and that's welcome because that's how you grow, but not with him. So with him, you have to say always the things that he wanted to hear. And as long as this was going on, then you had a good life. So.
Yeah. Well, the world is full of different people.
Full of different people, but then you learn also a lot about people, how people behave and how people behave when they have, because that is the idea, not how you behave when you don't have the power, but how you behave when you have the power. That shows the true colors behind.
Yeah, no, it does. It does. And what you do with that power, because some people just don't know how to handle it. And going back to recruiting the right people and having those people skills, I think it's always, I'm talking about the ideal scenario. You're saying, this person that you recruited, that is the wrong person. How long did it last?
What the people that I recruited that
is not working out, it's not good.
Well, that's also
because it's a short-term solution, right? And so in the long term, is it not going to cost you more to do that, or would it be better to hang on a little bit to find the right person? Okay,
let me first say that, I mean, many times I had a wrong impression about people. I have to admit that. So, okay, so I hired people that I didn't believe on them, and they proved to be very good. And the contrary also, I hired people where I was impressed, and they proved to be not as competitive as I thought. So it depends also on the role and the work. So if the work is a not very demanding work and he's there and he's doing the job, there are people working for me that are nothing exceptional, but they are like these old Volkswagens where you go and you put the key and you turn it, and like the Beetle, you put the key inside the Beetle, you turn it, and the engine's going to start. So from that perspective, they add value in my company because I can rely on them.
You need all sorts of people, I believe in. If you only have
Absolutely.
top performers in a company, it won't work because they won't want to do the work. You always need some solid people like that you can rely on, that
Absolutely.
are going to do the work, because they also bring stability to the rest of the team as well. And it's important to
Absolutely.
have a mix of different personalities, definitely.
Absolutely. And you need to ask yourself, I'm hiring this person for which role I'm hiring this person, because he can be the super introvert guy and
Yeah,
be like a genius in the computer science, for example.
exactly.
So he doesn't need to be extrovert. He doesn't need to be persuasive. It's okay. We not everybody can be the same. So
Yeah, better not.
yeah, thankfully, yes, because
Yeah,
that's how we expand ourselves. So um, you want to hire what? You want to hire a cleaning lady? You want to hire a managing director? You want to hire the computer freak? I mean, depends on the role. You need to accordingly choose also the proper person. I
So do
see.
you think you have the people skills that you're talking about?
I have. I feel I have. Maybe I'm not wrong, but I feel I have a very good people understanding. Through the variety of experiences that I had in my life, through the Greek German thing, and living there and living there and living and meeting people from all around the world, and being in different scenarios and in different places as employee, as manager, as owner. So, and the I need to add also something here. The older you get, the wiser you get, and the softer you get.
Yeah. The softer?
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
interesting. What do you mean by softer?
I mean, you forgive people.
Okay.
You forgive people easier. I forgive a lot of people
For what?
for
Such a
little bad things that they do. You know.
Your world is so different to mine, Alex.
Yeah. Well, why you say that? I mean,
I don't feel like I need to forgive anybody things. So it just seems it's interesting.
there are people that doing. So I had a conversation with this. I have a fantastic project manager in my company. I'm blessed to have him. So he's a Sicilian guy. He's really amazing. So he was here in Barcelona like some time ago, and I told him about the story. They stole from me two patinetes the last months,
Who?
two of them.
Who's they? Oh, on
Huh?
the street, somebody
On the
outside,
street,
not
yeah,
your
I
company.
lost them, and when I returned, the patinete was not there.
Okay.
So I don't know who stole them, but I somehow have the profile. I can imagine. I mean, I can imagine the age and the style of the person that stole me. If I was like 30, I would really hated them. Now, eh,
Okay, so it's not so much about forgiving. It's more that you've learned how to let go of things that you can't
well,
control,
I
right? You're not
well,
letting things take control and anger you, and so you've learned how to step back and not.
no one is an angel, Maria. No one is an angel. Okay, everybody, yes, okay. Everybody does a little things that are, and in my work, I know, I know the little lies that I'm hearing, but it's okay. It's fine. Doesn't matter as long as it is nothing very bad or something.
Yeah.
But the little things, ah,
Yeah.
I do as if I didn't hear that. I
Let it
play
go.
dumb. I play
Let
that
it
I didn't.
go. Let it go.
Let it go, because I understand,
Yeah.
and I understand also the people. So these guys that they stole the patinette, which I assume is going to be some male 20 something years old. I mean,
Okay,
that's
there
the,
you go. You don't know,
you
so
don't
whatever.
know.
So what happens about these guys?
Nothing. I mean, they. It's not the end of the world, okay? I mean, I'm not happy that it happens,
Yeah.
obviously,
Yeah.
but I would like to find them, to have like a conversation and tell them, why have you done that? It's very stupid from you.
Really, how do you think that conversation's going to go, Alex?
No, it's not going to
I don't
go
think they have the people skills. I'm not sure about that.
well. Let's say in a theoretical case that I could, I don't know, find them and meet them.
Yeah. Yeah,
I,
that would
I,
be.
I
I
I
don't think that's a
understand
good
them.
idea. I,
I forgive them because
good.
I get the picture of I mean, it's okay. It's not nice what they did, but it's not also something very bad. So yes, so one last thing I wanted to say. So because in this international environment that we are living, things are becoming more complicated. So our friend Evie, that she does all this multi-language, multi-international advisory of people from different cultures, that's an added difficulty in today's world. So you are a company in Sweden, for example, and you hire people, I don't know, in Turkey. It's not the same. It's not the same. And what you it's not what you say, it's how the other person perceives what you say. So you say A, but the other guy understands B. He responds like that, and you respond in a very dumb way, because it's this mismatch and miscommunication. Yeah. So a typical example of that is in Greece. There are sometimes cases where you need to pay some money, right, to do things, to accelerate things, because everybody does.
Okay.
But they don't tell you that. You need to understand that yourself.
Okay.
So they will not tell you, okay, now, I don't know, 1,000 euros or no. You need to understand it yourself. And you need to propose that and offer that in a way that makes things easy.
A way that's not, that doesn't make it sound like you're bribing them.
Exactly. But maybe it's not necessarily bribing. Let's don't bring it there.
Okay.
So when we brought my father to the last residence that he lived, so came these guys with the, you know, they were the drivers of the vehicle, of the ambulance, let's say, to transfer him. I mean, I paid the service, right? I paid the company for them to come and pick him up.
Yeah.
But in Greece, it's common that you give also to the kids something.
Okay. A tip.
A tip, exactly. So, I mean, not you give them like 20 euros each. Take here. I mean, you know, so they don't ask for that, but you do that.
They expect it. Yeah.
It's expected.
Yeah. Well, if it's in the culture, if it's part of the culture, that's different. Yeah.
So I had here also a problem with something that I ordered here in Spain, and that reminded me of that. So they brought me that here. That was a very heavy object. And I said, okay, bring it to my apartment. He said, no, it's on the contract that we're going to leave it on the door. I said, but how am I going to bring it up? I can't. Anyway, they left. And then that was a big problem, because no one wanted to bring it. To bring it up, it was like, I don't know, super more expensive, another plus 200 euros or something extreme. So I bought like a little thing, to transport the stuff to the top and to be able. But then I realized when these guys came, I said, okay, was my wife also, there's this Mexican, my wife, you know, come on guys, bring it up. And they brought it up, and we give them like this, like 20 euros each, and they were happy. And that was, I mean, the whole problem occurred because I failed to understand that, come on, bring it up, and we, you know, because they cannot ask you, obviously. Yeah, so you need to be in the position to have this understanding.
Yeah. So that's going back to people's skills, like understanding what people mean without even saying it.
Exactly. Understand it's not only what you say, it's also the way you say things. It's the way you say. Show, respect people. Talk in a not confrontational way. Confrontation, it's very stupid, because it doesn't serve the purpose.
Well, nobody wins usually when you start a confrontation.
Nobody wins. You have the fight, then smash a bad relationship, and that's, I mean, and if you are the manager, then it's your fault. It's you have to know how to speak to.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's very important.
So are those your last words?
My last words, yes.
It's very important to have people skills.
Absolutely. And have life experience. That is the message is have life experience. You learn from all people that you meet. You don't learn only from the professors.
Yeah,
You learn also from the thieves. You learn also from the people that you hang around. You learn from people from different cultures, from different paths of life. So associate with everybody, hang around with everybody, and that is going to enrich you, because what you will learn from them is you will understand how they see life through their lens, which is not necessarily wrong. It's just a different perspective of things.
Okay. Well, that was interesting.
I think it is interesting. I think so.
So we speak again in 2 weeks?
We speak in 2 weeks.
Okay.
Thank
Well,
you.
see you
Thank
soon.
you, Maria. Thank you.